Let's start. Yeah, so yesterday we have seen related to mobile test automation, how mobile test automation works, and today's topic will be very interesting topic related to API. So first we are going to see what is API. So today's agenda will be like we will first see what is API, how to test the API, what are the things required for API testing, then we will see how API works, and at the last we will be seeing a demonstration related to API for get and post method, and it will be the live like API testing we will be showing by using UiPath Test Suite. So it will be very interesting session, and you will really get a knowledge related to API test automation and how easy it is by using UiPath Test Automation. So let's start. What is API? Most of you know what is API and how API works, but whoever don't know, I'll just cover in 5 minutes that API means application programming interface. That is the interface between two systems. Whenever we need to integrate two systems or we need to test the integration between two systems, the API testing comes into picture, and that is there like the API testing and the API test automation comes into picture, where two or more systems are integrated with each other and we need to check that integration between two systems. So you can see here this is a layer of the API and how the application works by using the API. Let's go ahead and see what is the API testing. So you can see here in the diagram that business layer and the presentation layer, that is a GUI layer, is there, and the database layer is there. These layers are basically inside our system, inside our application. So this business layer is basically we are having the API testing or API layer. It is called as the business layer as well. So where we need to test the API is on the business layer. API testing doesn't have any like impact on the GUI testing or UI testing. So we need to focus on the business layer whenever we need to do the API testing. So you can see here in this diagram where whenever we need to do the API testing, we need to see like the testing tool should drive the API. Then only we can see all the test results, or the driver should be there. So one application should be there who can drive this API so that we can write a script or write some code to test that particular API. So mainly it is the integration between two systems, and we are focusing on the business layer, not a GUI layer. So it doesn't comes under the GUI. It come under the business layer of the system. So this is the API testing, and we will be seeing some use cases related to API testing today by using UiPath Test Suite. So here, like what is the integration and how API integration works. So the client will be there and the server will be there, and there will be the get and post methods used in the API. So we need to get the data from somewhere, we need to post data to some system, and by using this particular thing the API comes into picture, and we need to use that API and we need to test that API. And API comes like many applications. So for example, we are using application like Paytm, or we are using application for our bank. So these all kinds of application will have their own API. So you can see like you're using Jira as a application. So Jira is having their own API. Hyper is the application which is having their own API. So these API are very important in terms of application. So let's see like how the actual working of the API and how to test the API by using UiPath Test Suite. So I'm handing this over to Amit and Sandeep. So Amit, over to you. You can start. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks, Swati. So let's share the screen. Just a minute. Can just stop sharing. Just a minute, I'm just sharing the screen. Yeah. So as Swati mentioned already, we will see the four use case today, a four live use case. We will do the API testings. So generally, whenever we are working with any application, we need to do some typical scenarios. We want to create some records inside the applications. We want to fetch some records, some data from the applications. We want to update some informations in a particular record, or we want to delete some particular records. So all these things, typically operations we are already doing in the any applications, but all these operations are being done by the APIs. So for every operation, there are the API call. So these API calls, they need some request information, and based on that, uh, they will get the response. And so we need to understand what is the response we are getting and what is the response status. So as per that, we can validate those response status and those response informations. So in this way, typically the API testing, it works. So those doesn't know exactly what in API testing what we need to do. So today in demonstration, we will see one by one with the post method, get method, and update method and delete method. Okay. So let's see with the post method. So we have to create a new user into system using a post method. So this is our one use case, or this functionality if you want to test it. So we can see. So in this use case, so you will see the capability of the UI path. So most of the people, they have to, they see a UI path, it's a robotic tools. Now UI path come with automations capabilities also. So we have seen already web automation, desktop automation. Yesterday session, we have seen the mobile automation as well. Along with that, a UiPath also have the API automation capabilities. So in this use case, we will see the how you can use a post method for the REST APIs. Okay, so here we have using three activities. One is HTTP request, then deserialize JSON, and verify expression with operators. And dependency to dependency, UiPath testing.activities, UiPath web API.activities. So you're using UiPath testing.activities, you will get the verify expression with operator, this activity. And using the UiPath web API.activities dependency, you will get the these two HTTP requests and deserialize JSONs, which also required. Okay, so let's see the test case first. So this is our test case number one. So test case one, to check, create a new user into system using a post method. This is our test case. And there's a this application link, request.in, these applications. This is a dummy application we're using for these API testings. And this is the API. You can see in the screen, HTTPS request.in API users. This is a REST API. And here we have to create a new users. Okay, so we have to, so for creating a new users, we are giving a two parameters, a name and job, right? So with putting these two parameters, the user will get created. So we'll get the ID and created date and timestamps. And if everything is done properly, then we'll get the status code as a 201. All right. So so this is our test data. So if you want to understand more deeply, so the request parameter, which is nothing like your test data. So what parameter you're passing. So here I'm passing a name as a Morphus and job as a leader as a value. And once this API, it will call in the response, we'll get the name, then job as a leader, and ID 130. So just so now we'll run the API, will get a different ID and create it at date and timestamp. It will get it right. So these things also we need to verify. Okay, and status code 201. Now the question comes in your mind, those don't know about the APIs, how we should know what is the request, what is the response we are getting, what is status code, how we get this information, what is the particular API to check this particular scenario of what is this my API. So whenever we're doing the API testing, first prerequisite, we should have an API documentation, right? So we need to ask the development team to provide API documentation. So in this API documentation, they have specifically mentioned that for particular scenario, particular functionality, a module, which API we are using, and for this which method we are used. So here we have a sample document on a screen. You can see. So our so for post method we want. So here we are in a request. So API.users, this is the API. So req request.in/API/user. So this is the request. So in the request, there's a two parameter. You can see name and job with these values. In the response, so what response we're getting? 201, and with this entire response, right? So this is API documentations. First, we need to get it, okay, before start API testings. So this is API. So here we get to know this is my request parameter, these are my response parameter, this is my response code. Okay, based on that I can validate. I need to check whatever my response parameters are there or not, and what a response code I'm supposed to get, I'm getting or not. So those things, those assertions we need to
Amit, your voice is breaking in
validate
between.
here. So we are developing. Hello,
Yeah,
hello.
Amit, your voice is
It's
breaking in
better.
between.
It's better
Yeah.
now.
Yes, it's better.
Okay, sorry guys. So let me quickly repeat. I don't know when from where it's breaking. So this is a request part, response part here. So this API documentation is very important. So we need to validate whatever response we are getting, response code or response parameters, that we need to verify. So let's quickly see the demonstration of the first use case. Let me go to the UI path. So this is the first test case. So let me run this test case where we're creating a new record using post method. So let me run this test case. So execution has started and it's done. So let's see the output. So in the output, you can see. So this is the response we are getting. So we are giving the name as a step Amit, job as a RTA developer. We are getting the ID in the response 327, and this is the created date, time, and stamp that you're getting. And here you can see the two assertions verification. So we are giving the username step Amit is equal to yes, then it passed. Then we are giving the next assertion. If you're getting a status code 201, yes, then it passed. So with the so it's in green color with verification, it means it passed, and it taken 2 seconds for the executed, right? So this is about these API results. So here, so it means that using this API, we can create any new record with passing this two parameters, name and job. Okay, and we'll get a successful result also because we are getting successful result also because we are response we are getting. So those that's the same response you should get it, right? So those things you can verify it here. All right.
Amit, there is a lot of
So
disturbance or kind of
now
issue.
let's see the interesting part.
Amit,
You
your
guys
voice is breaking.
see how
Amit, Amit, can you hear?
can build this
Hello,
AI. My voice still
we can't understand anything.
breaking.
Amit, we can't understand anything. Can't hear you now.
Sandeep, are you there? Can you please explain till Amit will rejoin? Maybe there is some disturbance from his side.
Yeah, now
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
better. It's better now.
Amit, your voice was very like we are not
Redundant.
able to hear you. Yeah, redundant, and the voice was not clear.
Now it's better.
Yes, it's better. So probably you can cover from last 2 minutes kind of a thing.
Sure, sure. Sorry, guys. Really sorry. And sorry for the network. Okay. So what I'm saying that, so let me run this test case first once again. Yeah. So let's see the output. So let's see the, so in output, so we can see, uh, so we are passing two parameters to create a user record, name as a Step Amit, job as a RTA developer, and those those parameter we have added, and we getting a response here. So here we're getting ID as a 914 and the created date, time and stamp. Also, we have given two assertions here, two verification checkpoint here. So we want to check whether the we are giving the username as a Step Amit. So same thing we are getting or not. In a response, yes, we are getting Step Amit as a username. So also we are looking for the status code. So the status code for these APIs is a 201. So same status code we are getting or not in the response. So yes, same we are getting. That's why this assertion is getting passed. All right. So let's see how we have given these entire request thing, how we are getting the output, how we are validating those output parameters. So let's see all this thing. So here I have simply created a sequence. So in the sequence, I have added this HTTP request APIs. So before, whenever you want to start with the API testing, so in a dependencies, you have to add this UiPath dot web API dot activity. This dependency you have to add it. Once you added this dependency, you will get the HTTP request, deserialize JSON, all these API related activities. Along with that, for the verification part, you need to add UiPath dot testing dot activities. So you will get the testing related activities, verification and all. All right. So let's see the HTTP request part. So in the HTTP request part here, let me show you. Uh, so this is the HTTP request part. So in this way you have to add, and in the endpoint, we have to enter the URL. Okay. So the URL is, so this is the request part. Okay. Slash API slash user. Okay. This is the my request part. And now here I want to create a record. So I want to push my data. So in a request method, I have to select post, right? I have to select this post method. And now second thing, so what kind of response you are expecting? So in accept respond as, so here you will get the in any format, or if you want to put a JSON format or XML format, so you can select your response. So let me see, like the JSON. And now here, so for this particular so we have to create a record. So here we need to pass two parameters, because in a request it's saying two parameters, because in a documentation you can see it's giving a two parameters. One is a name, second is a job. All right. So these two parameters we need to pass. So you have to click add parameter button, and here you have to add the first parameter as a name as a Morphus in a value. Second parameter is a job. So you want to, whatever job designation, a leader, you can add it. Okay. So once you're done with these things, and before start with the execution, you wanted whether this endpoint is getting or not, whether response is getting or not. So using a preview button, you can see the preview. So let me click on the preview, and this is the response. Now you can see. So we're getting the response, name Morphus, job as a leader, ID is 210, created at date and timestamps, preview response. And this is the, so what we have requested. So request URL, request method, and the status code 201, right? Which is assigned to this particular APIs. And so these things you will get to know with the previous things. And just after that, just click on OK, and your parameters, endpoint, method, everything has been now set up. Now once it done, we need to get the response, right? So we're done with the input parameters, but we need to store the response, okay, in some variable. So so those things also you can do very easily. So in the property there is output. So in the output here we have created two variable already, outpost JSON and status code. So in the result you will create this outpost JSON a string variable and status code is another variable. So in the result, uh, outpost JSON variable, we will get the entire response of this particular APIs, and the status code variable will get the status code 201. It will retrieve it. So whenever we are hit or trigger any APIs in the response, we'll get the response body and we'll get the response code as well. So those things we are getting. So those things we are managing with using this simply HTTP request. So it's very easily any people they don't have the any coding background knowledge, they can also following these steps and they can very easily they can perform their API testings right now. Very important. So whenever we are doing API testing, so whatever output we are getting, okay, which is in a string format, and in this particular API, they have some nodes. So let me show you in a, on a screen. Let me go to the documentation page. Sorry, on documentation page. So you can see documentation page. So this is a name, job, ID, credit. So these are all nodes. So we are calling this is a nodes, right? So in that particular node, I have to check the Morphos value. In this particular node job, I have to check the leader value. In the particular ID node, I have to check the IDs, right? So to reach this particular node, we have to convert the string format in the JSON object. So for that, we have to use a deserialize JSON. So there is a API testing, another concept, a deserializations. So using a deserialization, so if you want to reach the particular node of your response body, okay, so for that you need to convert your string into the JSON object, and then uh, you can reach out the particular node. Because why we need to reach out the particular node? Because we have to check I am entering the Amit as a name, same thing in the response I'm getting or not. I'm entering the RPA leader or whatever designation I'm adding in a job, same thing I'm getting in the response or not. To to get this information, we need to uh, reach out there first. To reach out there, we need to deserialize. So that's why we have added a deserialized JSON. It's very simple. So deserialized JSON activity is already available in UiPath. You just need to drag and drop and the output parameters. So in the HTTP request, let me click on the HTTP request and you can see the properties of the HTTP request, which we already created, the output. Sorry, yeah, in here. Yeah, so these outpost JSON. So this variable I'm calling here because in this variable we will have the string data, a response data. So those we want to convert. So those we are calling here in outpost JSON. So that we have done. Now, once we are getting all the data, once we convert all the data in JSON format, okay. Now we want to take one-on-one data. Okay. So for example, we want to check the username step Amit is there or not. Okay. So to getting this step Amit, the username, so we have to write one expressions. So in this expression, this select token expression. So how it works? This select token expression. So on the from the your output variable, it will check for the name, a name token, and whatever name is there, it will convert into the string format, and you will retrieve your this name from your response body. Because now we want to verify, so whatever name we are given in a request parameter, same thing we are getting in a response parameter or not. So for that we have using a select token method, these expressions, we will get these whatever parameters we are looking for from the response body. So this is the expression, guys. Okay, fine. So here I am just giving the one assertion from the body name. And then I have added the verify expression with operator this activity. So here I'm calling the username variable already I have called, because this username variable, it will fetch the uh, uh, a name parameter from the response body. And this is my expected output, a step Ahmed, because this parameter I have given in an input. So I'm checking if whether the username as value is Ahmed is equal to step Ahmed value, it match, then this assertion or this verification is done successfully. Then same thing we want to check for the status code. So our status code, so the status code, it easily available, because status code, it is not inside the your response body, it is outside in the HTTP request, you can already see. So this is a status code, is we have already fetched using the status code variable. So this status code is there, so those we are calling here, this status code, and we're comparing. We know that, so if the status code, we are getting a response 201, because in documentation it already mentioned the status code for this API is 201. So if we're getting 201, then it's match and it's pass. So guys, in this way, we have to we can build the APIs very easily using the UiPath. Okay. And you can verify any parameter from your response body, or you can convert it, your string into the JSON object using a deserialized JSON. And yeah, so this is all about the first our use case, create create a record using a post method. So let me go to the presentation now, and we'll see the next use case. Yeah. So second use case. So always we want to fetch some informations, right? So from any application, we want to fetch some data. So here our use case, get a single user information using GET APIs. So whenever you want to get some informations, okay, in a REST API, we have to use a GET method. So get method also. So UiPath also have capability, so which can support the GET method also. So here also we have using the same activities, HTTP request, deserialize JSON, verify expression with operator, and this UiPath.testing.activities and UiPath.web API.active dependencies. So let's go see the what exactly this test case. So this is a second test case to check getting a single user information using get method. So we have a user ID 2. So whatever username for this, or whatever user information for this user ID 2, okay, so those information we are getting. So in the API, you can see the API link here, our API user /2. So 2 is the a particular ID, user ID. So while passing this ID in the URL, we'll get the response like this. In the data, ID is equal to email ID information, first name, last name, avatar, and again in a support node, we'll get the URL tags. So these are the entire response we are getting while we are hitting these APIs, and this is a status code 200. So this entire thing, again, I'm repeating, it is in a documentations. So let me go to the documentation page now. So whenever you're doing API testing, whatever APIs you have it, so your developers team, they should have to provide you all the documentation. So you can see this is my request parameter API slash users /2, and in the response code is a 200, and this is my response body. So from the response body, if I want to validate email ID, I want to validate first name, I want to validate last name, I want to validate ID. So whatever thing I can validate easily. Okay. So let's go to the UiPath and let's see this second use case now again. So let me open this second test case. So this is a verify added record using get method. So let me run it first. We'll see the output. So this is the output. So execution has been done. So in the body, you can see, so this is the ID 2. So because we are looking for the 2 ID, and this is the email ID. So we are getting email ID, we're getting the first name, last name, your profile picture, avatar, URL, a support URL, text informations, and status code. You can see a 200, right? And the so these are the four assertions. So in this four assertion, you can see one assertion it fails because we are intentionally marked as we are giving the in the comparison side we are giving the a wrong value. Okay, because we are adding the Janet, and here already it is a different things there. So let's see now in the code. So as we have seen in previously in a post method, same I have added the HTTP request. Only one thing I need to change a method. So let me go to the property section of the HTTP request. So in the HTTP request in the properties, so you can see, so here I have added the endpoint. Okay, and this is the my get method. Okay, so this thing, so here we no need to insert any parameters. Okay, and now we need to go to the output. So I have created the str.json obj this variable to store the response body, and for the status code I've created the one variable get status code. So these things I have done only, and then again we need to deserialize JSON. So I have added the output body object here, and I added some log messages to check the response body, to check the status code. So I've added some log messages there. And now to do the three kind of assertions, check the name, check the email ID, uh, and the ID, which is user ID is created for these assertions. We using select token method, we are retrieving these data. So let's see these expressions once again for you. So let's see. So you can see this expression. So we can data.id. So why we need data? Because we are getting the data, the whole the response we are getting inside the data. So let me show you the response once again. You'll get to know more. So here you can see, so this ID is equal to 2 is available inside the data. So same like as a URL, it's a URL inside the support node. So same ID is equal to the is inside the data node. So to reach ID, first we need to reach data, and then we need to reach the ID. So that's why in select token method we have given these expressions. So let's see again this expression. So that's why, so from the output, select token as a data.id and convert into the string format. Okay, then only we'll get the ID as a 2. Same thing we have done for the email ID. So in the email ID also, same we have added select token data.email dot to string. Okay, same for the first name. Okay, yeah. So let's see the now. So for the verification or assertion purpose, again we have added the verify expression with operator activity. So where I have I am given the for assertion, one the user ID, then get status code, then email ID, and then first name. So user ID I've already two, get status 200, email ID I'm given email ID, and first name also I'm given here. So in this way you can validate the response whatever you're getting. So you can validate n number of uh, response parameter you're getting in your response body using a verify expression with operator this activity. So here you don't need to write any scripting code and all for these particular assertions, right? You can easily just drag and drop this activity and call the variable which storing the your response body data, and what is your comparison or what parameter you are given in a request time. So those you have to add in a right hand side. So those value I already added here, and in this way you can compare, do the comparison. All right. So this is about our second use case, get method. Okay. So let's see quickly two more use cases. so whatever in these whatever queries you have it, so definitely we'll discuss at the end of the sessions. So let's quickly discuss about these two more use case we have it. So update and delete. So let's first see the use case, exactly what the use case now in the PPT. So this is use case number 3. Update the user information using a put method. So whenever we want to update any information uh, in the existing record, so to check this, we have to use a put method, right, in the REST APIs. So again, we have using the same activity, same dependencies, but only method is changed. We have changed the method as a put only. So let's see the use case, test case. So test case ID 3, to check update job details for user using a put method. So here we have giving the job. So we are changing the job. So in yellow color I have highlighted this job value. So those job value we are giving some another job or name, and we will update this job and then see in the response what we're getting. So this is our response. We should get it after hitting this APIs and this status code. So let's go to the UI part. Let's run this. So here we are updating a job basically. Yeah. So this is whatever updated job information we have added, we can see here. So job is updated in this API using a post using this pull method. Then you can see two assertions. We'll get the very status code as a 200, and the whatever newly job value we have updated, those also we can see here. So let's see how we are passing this updated job value. Okay, so in the HTTP request, we'll see the first this parameter. So again, same in HTTP request, we have to add the endpoint, the URL for the users to method as a put here. Okay, so and in the parameter, yeah. So in the parameter, you can see here we have updated this value, John resistant. So previously it was a leader. So now we have given this a job as John resistant. This value we have given. So what a parameter you want to add it new or update it, you can put it here. But since now it's a updated a put method, so we only for existing record we can only update the information, right? So those things you can do it in a parameter properties. All right. Then again, same thing, result status code, we are getting the response. So here I'm putting in a put output variable and status code in a put status code. Okay, the same thing, I have to deserialize this JSON again. Then now here I just want to the whatever updated job I have given. So those information, those node I want to add it. So again, I'm just created this expressions, select using select token method. I will get the updated job information, right, in the particular response body. Okay, and same thing. So again, I'm giving two assertions here, two verification points, status code is equal to 200 and the updated job information. All right. So in this way, using this put method, we can check uh, updated records or we're getting updated or not. So those things also function. We can also check it using a put method very easily. All right. So let's see our last use case, delete record. So let's see the first use case now. So this is a use case. So usually in application, we have to delete some record as well, correct? So here also we have using a delete method in a REST API, using a delete method, we can delete the any record. So so UiPath also have capabilities. So we can delete, we can use this delete method for the REST APIs. So same activity we have used it, only the method we have changed it. Okay, activities are same, dependencies also same. So let's see the test case again. So test case 4, to check delete user using a delete method in this request.in application. So this is our API link. So it's very important to understand the API links. Okay, so for this user 2, so for the user which have the ID 2, so those we are trying to delete now. So once we delete the information, this information for this user, so we'll get a status code as a 204. All right, so we will get the status code as a 204. Again, same information is available on your API documentation which you're getting from your developers. So let's see this API documentation first for this delete. So you can see, so this is API/user/2, this is the request, and this is the response 204. We'll get it for the delete method. So in the documentation it also giving that it's for delete method. Okay, you can see. Okay, so let's run this first API. See the output. So yes, in the output we're getting a response code 204. So it means we have deleted this record, and the assertion we have given here, because we're not getting any response only, as a response body here we're not getting. So we're getting only this response code as a 204. So we are looking for 204, same response code we are getting 204. It means this assertion it passed. So in this way we can do it. So let's see the where to how we have implemented this API. So you can see here we haven't added a deserialized JSON because we are not getting any response, a response body, because as per this API documentation we are not getting any response body here. So that's why we haven't used the deserialized JSON here. So if you want to see how we how to add delete method, same in the HTTP request properties, there is a, you can see a URL endpoint you have given, then a delete method. Okay, and the status code delete response, and same status code we are getting here also. So if you want to put some logs, you can use a log message activity, and you can, so for information purpose, if you want to put some log, you can put the log as well. So log level as an info, and the message whatever your status code you're getting. So same variable we have called here. And again we want to compare the response code 204, what, so whatever response code we're getting in the runtime, same we are getting here or not. Okay, so guys, why in the API response code is very important, because every API have some response code. If you're getting some another response code, it means that this API is getting failed. Okay, so in the API testing, two things are very important to check. First is the response, what is the response code we are getting. So every APIs have some response code. So whenever your developers they are doing some development of the API, so they have allocated some response code for each and every APIs. Okay, so if you are getting this particular response code, then your API is passed. This thing first you need to check. Second thing, what you need to test. So in your response body, if you're getting the response body, so your response body, what are the parameters are there in the API documentation, same thing you're getting or not, right? So all these things you need to check it in API testing. So in this way, you can do the API testing for the REST APIs, or also you can do the so you can also support the SOAP APIs also. Okay, so in this way, in your projects, whatever APIs you have it using this method, you can easily test those APIs in a UI path. You can see now, and this is now a capability of the UI path. So this is a one tool which can support your web automation, your desktop automation, your mobile testing automation, your API automation also now. So using one tool, you can do the end-to-end testing. So we're calling a managed testing services. So where we have to do all this kind of testing. So using this one tool, if you learn this one tool, so in a testing area, you can do it by your own self without any prior knowledge of the coding and all. You just have to hands-on on these. You just need to understand the concept very well, testing concept very well, and these all the testing concept is very well handled by the UiPath, right? So that's the beauty of this entire UiPath test management tools, which supports all the features which are looking for the testing. So yeah, so we have covered all the use cases now here. All the 4 use cases we have covered. So we have any questions or we can discuss now.
Guys, if you have any questions, you can ask Amit and he will address the queries. If you can unmute and ask your questions, or else you can post your questions in chat window. We can address the questions.
Hey Amit, this is Arun here. Thanks for the demo. So my first question is the point where you are deserializing the response, right? So basically you are storing it under get token. Is that right? From the get token, the value, whatever is there inside from the response.
Yeah, so
Yeah, the
basically
deserializes.
deserializes. So I have the already put output variable I've created. So in this
Okay.
variable, I am storing this deserialize.
Okay, and there was somewhere where you used a get token or
Select token. I have used the select token to so in the response, I have if I want to a particular value for the particular node. So here I can using the select token method, I will get it.
Okay, so all the nodes are stored under the select token?
Using the select token method, you will retry.
Okay, select token is a method. Okay, and what is the purpose to convert it to string? Because in some cases, if it is a number, can we use it directly without converting it to string? Will the verify expression still work?
Yeah, it works. I mean, you mean to that why we need to convert in a string as well?
String, yeah.
This is your question?
Yes.
Oh, okay. So you saying that the status code we are getting a 200, which is not a
Yeah,
string.
in case of status code, since it is outside, you are directly verifying it. But for the other values which is inside the response, you are deserializing, I mean, parsing it so that you could get the direct values to access it. So
Yes.
why is it that you're converting it to a string? Is it needed for UiPath or?
No, it's not needed. It's not
Okay.
needed. So basically, UiPath supports all your data types. That's
Okay.
one thing. So it's
Okay,
not
then
needed, but
in that case, only difference would be if it is a string, I have to give it in quotes. If it is not, I
correct,
can give it directly. It will, the verify will still work.
correct.
Okay, got it. Thank you. Second question is, so let's say I have a collection of requests. So just like how I use UI, for example, I go to the Gmail registration page, I enter all the details and submit, and then I log in with the same values, the submitted email ID and password. So I want to run a set of collection. Can I do that here in UiPath in the same flow? Or I have to create separate test cases and then call them in a set?
Yeah, it's possible. We can, okay, it's called a API chaining. Okay, this is the API chaining concept. Okay, so we can do that. Okay, just create a one. Okay, so we are creating the multiple test cases. Okay, like a get, post, put. Okay, so whatever your API. Okay, and all test cases put together into one sequence. Okay, and you can run directly here. So your API chaining will be automatically generated. Okay, but there is a one or more concept. You need to always store your OAuth authentication because of Gmail take a authentication, right? So so you need to pass your authentication here. Okay, just select your HTTP request, go to the properties, and here is the OAuth token, and you can you need to pass this. Then your API chaining is will work. Okay, it's not.
Okay, and this OAuth token has to be in every test case, in every API call I make.
Yeah, right. Okay, because always OAuth authentication, your token is always a unique. Okay, so you need to maintain each and with every request.
Okay, got it. Yeah, Thanks,
Yeah.
thanks, Amit. Thanks.
Yeah. Good.
Is there any other question from others, guys? We have a couple of minutes, so we can address your queries. Any questions from yesterday's session? Any question from today's session?
So this UI path that is visible here, is it the free version, the community edition that I can download and run, or this is the licensed version,
It's a community version.
community version? Okay.
Community version. You just add to these dependencies,
Okay.
testing.activities and web API.activities.
Okay. Got it.
So what do you guys feel? How these how the you can easily do the API testing in UiPath? Do you think you can do it very easily? What do you think? Anyone can answer. Anyone can share the experience based on this whatever use case we have demonstrated. It's very easy.
Yeah,
So yeah,
I
like
think yeah.
okay.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
So like in my opinion, it is quite easy. Like as far as if we write our code in the Visual Studio and all, everything has been encapsulated into one activity, that is the HTTP request. And by introducing the test suite, by introducing these three features, by testing it with the operator, it becomes quite easy. So we don't need to go to the entire end-to-end flow and these activities which they are specifically giving us for validation for testing. I think one level plus they have been giving it. So I used it in my projects and I feel it very easy to use as compared to the development in other studios or frameworks.
Yes, correct, Pooja. You mentioned that because to assertion it's also one of the big area. So these things you can using very easily. You can do it. Just add this activity, verify, especially with the operator. You can do very easily, and entire thing HTTP request. So they also have created a very good wizard. So using this wizard, you should get to know exactly where you want to add which parameters. It's very helpful to understand any new man. Yeah, Arun, you are saying something.
Yeah. So what I was trying to say is in the times where automation is focused mainly on only UI side and they have just started gaining the momentum towards API, where the actual capability and the agility of automation testing is placed on. So I think I have been using Postman, and there you have to write a little bit of codes wherein you store the values in either the environment or you create a variable to store it. So there is a lot of coding comparatively how I see here in UiPath. Here you have given a UI for that as well. So I think the effort has been reduced by 40 or 50%, wherein this
Correct.
is faster.
Correct. You mentioned that.
Yeah, so I think it's good. It's definitely going to be helpful.
Yeah. Great. So, any questions we have, guys? Any other questions?
If we don't have any questions, I want to showcase something from community. If you allow me, Amit, I will go ahead.
Sure. Let me.
Anything, any other questions, guys? You can ask. We have 5 more minutes. If nothing, we can go with the community setup for a couple of minutes. Okay.
Yes, you can share your screen.
Okay, sharing my screen. So, is my screen visible? Can anyone confirm? Yeah, so we are from UiPath community. So I just want to showcase you who are the first time joiners or who I already know or something. So this is the community events global page. So where you can see the community events.uipath.com. So where you can see lots of events already there. For example, today we are having Hyderabad session, and from 17 we are having some UiPath certified RPA developer session, and we are having Studio X. So you can just go to the global page and you can see the Asia Pacific. In Asia, we have many regions, and in Europe, America, virtually. So we do have many sessions available. So whatever maybe the topics you want to learn or whatever topics you want to explore, you can just browse it and do the RSVP for the sessions, and you can go with the learning part. That is one thing. And coming to the other part, so as you are from UiPath developer and also first time if you are using, so you can go with the forum.uipath.com. So this is called forum.uipath.com. So forum is the single shop destination for all the developers for their queries, answers, resolution, solutions. If you are having some issue with your code, or if you are having some problem with you facing when you are developing something new, you just go to forum.uipath.com and browse the type your question, and definitely always the answer is available in the forum, or else you can post it and definitely some of the experts will be answering the queries. So that is something forum. And so there is a community blog as well. So UiPath has started a community blog. So if you are interested to writing some blogs on UiPath automation or RPA, or something you want to write some blog, so you can start writing your blog for free. It is for free. It is and you can start exploring it. That is something else. And so that is something I want to showcase. And coming to the community events, so when we are talking about the community events, we have different chapters. Like for example, we have Hyderabad. Today we are addressing Hyderabad chapter. So for that, from Hyderabad we have Mumbai, we have Bangalore. In India we have Chennai, Pune, and Delhi NCR as well. So if you are want to become a speaker, or if you want to give a suggestion for our meetups, for example, yeah, we're lagging on this some topic which is very interesting, or if you feel some interesting topic you have and you want to be a speaker, so always we are always welcome you to be a speaker, or you can share your knowledge from the community sessions. So we are open for that. You can reach Weber Srivastav, community manager of APAC, or you can reach me, or you can reach other community leaders from other chapters as well. So that is something I want to showcase. And so, and if somebody is missing the missing to join today's session, so once the session is completed, after a couple of hours, we will upload the session in the same events page. You can browse that video, completely recording video available in the session. So that's it from our side, guys. So if you don't have any questions, so we can wrap up the session. So special thanks to Amit, Swati, and Sandeep from One Step. So thank you so much for your time on your weekend and addressing the session and delivering the valuable content for our learner. So feel free to reach out to us, guys, if you have any questions, and if you're having any thoughts, if you're having any issues on the something else, so feel free to us. So anything you want to address, Amit, from before closing? Or Sandeep, Swati, if you want to address anything, something before we close, or else we can end up the session.
Thank you everyone for joining this session. Thanks, Niklesh and Vibor, for arranging this session, I can say.
Yeah, Thank you, Amit, and thank you everyone for joining. We will meet up in next coming sessions soon. Thank you so much, guys. Happy weekend. Happy weekend, Amit, Swati, and Sandeep. Thank you. Cheers.
Thank you. Same to you guys.